Marcie. Welcome to today's coffee and crafting. It's a little bit different today. I'm just doing a walkthrough of some dyes that I have that I use that are in my stash constantly, that are always on my desk. And showing Marcie the little walkthrough of the journal that she can make with her dyes. And showing Dawn the Mod Podge with the glitter Mod Podge. I'll start with that for a moment. Dawn. This is the Mod Podge. Now I'm going to try and get this as close as possible. It is quite frosted. The effect you're going to get is quite frosted with the Mod Podge and glitter, as you can see here. Please zoom in. It is, and this is the other one. So as you can see, it is quite muted, but it still works. I think that's the cornflower element. I am going to experiment in this next coming week with PVA glue and glitter and see if it, without adding anything to it, because PVA can be quite thick, but I'm going to add some cornflower to it as well and see if that gives the same kind of impression instead of the Mod Podge, because I think everyone has like some type of glue in their stash, so if you don't have Mod, you can use that. But as I said on, it is this, I don't know if you can see the sparkle on this, it is quite sparkly, there we go, with the glitter in it, but it does give a very matte finish, a very frosted look to your cards. And I really like this with the cornflower in it for Christmas time, because I'm thinking with the blue it will make beautiful frosted effect, but it isn't going to be as in your face glittery as some of the other like the green is extremely, like that is extremely glittery and you can't get away from that. This is so sparkle dense and it's had about the same amount of glitter in it, but as you can see it's more of a matte effect. Now I like that, I really do, and it's personal preference obviously, so whatever floats your boat. Get your bits out, get your glitter out, get making. Now on to a different note. I know you're not supposed to talk prayer or politics, it's one of those things, but this is my friend Megan. I'm not going to show her face, but I get to open my iPad and see her face looking like this with her little cat every day, and it makes me giggle, it makes me laugh. I have the privilege of calling her my friend, and I have done for the last 10-11 years. She's going through a really hard time at the minute, and if you do pray, could you please keep her in your thoughts and your prayers. Just send some good vibes her way, that life changes, because she is being, she's having a really tough time, and she's in Florida and I'm not obviously anywhere near the States, so I can't be there in person. So if you could offer a prayer or a thought or vibes, anything that would just get something positive out into the ether, into the atmosphere, into the universe, to send good vibes her way, I would greatly appreciate it. Thank you. Now back on to the rest of today. Now, Marcie, let's start with you, love. This is my journal that I made with those dyes that you have. If I had to do this again, I would make it differently. What I am going to do is, as you can see, I've got these little metal rings on here, 6 of them. What I would do is, I'm going to break this down into 2, because I have pink and I have purple inside, and I want to make one of each instead of it being this bulky. But it does make a really pretty album, it does make a really pretty journal, but I just have way too much in it at the moment. Now, I have little tuck parts here, and I made these from a different die set, and it is a little corner die with a little matte layer, and these are just smaller than an ATC, these little cards, and I have them to glue in as little tuck points somewhere along the way. But as I say, if I was to do this again, I wouldn't do it with, as you can see the lined paper here, the lined paper, it does cut out with one of the layers of your die. I wouldn't put these papers in. I have at the back, I have a stamp, and I prefer the stamp effect because you can see the paper behind, and I really like these papers. There's the little tuck part that I made using the same little dies, and I have made these from a different die set as well, and I used some matte laminating sheets. I have some really shiny laminating sheets, but I have the matte ones, and the matte ones just make everything so smooth. Some of these pages are also matte laminated and then cut out with the die. just to give it rigidity and also to preserve the papers. So as you can see, there's some purple. Wait, let's start from the start again. The start. This is also mattified. You can see it's starting to come apart here, so I will glue that back down. That's the matte laminating sheets. I wouldn't do these again. I like it insofar that it did cut out nice and it does love a lovely shape as a notebook, I guess, but I preferred the stamp, and these are from a different little die set, little pockets, and I have backed this one, and then I've just made a few little from random die sets and random little offcuts of paper just to make little pull out parts. And as you can see, it does make a really, really pretty notebook. And there's these are just normal little dies. These here are just normal little heart dies glued on one side to make a little tuck point. And just little flowers that I used some washi tape. I made a card with some washi tape, and these are also made out of just washi tape and then die cut. It's just little random bits that I had in my stash. And those little mirror cards are just to show you that it is a little tuck point. But I wouldn't do these lining pages again. I like the way that the page is cut. I like how the little note page is cut, but I would use the stamp so you can actually see the beautiful paper. That would be the only thing. And I did glue them down, so I can't even take them off. And I did try, that's why there's washi tape there, but didn't quite work out. But I do like them. But as I say, I have some that are pink and then some that are purple in colourway that I will again split them. And this is just another little tuck point. That might show you more of the little dies. Just a few little different die sets stuck together to make just a little journal. And then I stamped again with the same note stamp. It's a love in the corner. And these are little dies, miscellaneous dies from different little stamp sets, different die sets. And these are all just made from scrap, in all honesty. There's more of the little hearts that I cut out that make little tuck points that are again just some cardstock with some washi tape and then die cut. It couldn't be simpler. And these are from a different little die set, and these are again, I matte laminated these little paper clips, and they are so cute. And then again there's the lilac, and I have some that have this little tag on the top, the little tab, so you can see there's little tabbies on some of them. It's from again a different die set, but yeah, and that's the little heart that I made the other day. So I just stuck it in here because it's really pretty. I was going to make it into a magnet by doing a few layers of the cardstock and put a little magnet on the back, but I just liked it in this journal page because there's some little succulents and little mushrooms and little bees. And I like this. I think this one works. I'm not sure. Yes, it does work. Yay. A few of them that I made don't work. Look for something positive in each day. There's a nice sentiment that I printed on a little thermal printer. This covers a little thermal printed image that just faded over time, but I like this. And again with the purple, spoiler alert, annoyed at first sight. That is pretty much perfect. But today's current mood is do it. I am encouraging shenanigans. Get your die set out, Marcie. Let's go. Dawn, get your die sets out too. Let's make something that we haven't made before. This one I don't think works as well. No, this one did not work. But it's got a nice little tabby. Nice little tab on the bottom. It looks pretty though. It looks quite cute. But I do want absolutely no adult supervision here in this craft room. But these were little bookmarks that came from a magazine. They are a craft magazine that I also matte laminated, and they feel so lovely. Really nice. I'm a very tactile person. I like touchy-feely, and they feel so super smooth. But some of the pages I haven't laminated, like this one with the feathers I haven't laminated. Oh, that's double happiness in Chinese, I think is... I'm not even going to try to pronounce that. And Shifu is happiness. Shangji, I think, is double happiness. Any Chinese watching or listening, if I have butchered that, I apologize. But I think it is Shangji for double happiness. And another little page. I might take this off because I like this page. I want to take this. I think it takes away from the prettiness of the page. But these little tuck spots were also made using those little dies. Just a little corner die and a little matte layer and just a few little odd bits of paper, and then that's the stamp that says notes as well on there. And again, little tabbies from my stash. But this is basically this one. I know this one doesn't. No, it doesn't. It does work. It does work. That one does work. I like these little papers, and these are just, if you can see, it's a little PTFE tape or whatever it's called, the clear kind of washi tape that I just put on the edge just to give it a little bit of shine. But yeah, I don't like these. I don't like the note paper that I've made. I don't like the note paper that's in here. I would prefer the stamp so that you can see the paper behind. As you can see, there's another one of those. And this is just a photocopy. I photocopied this little note page and rounded the corners and made it a little journal. And I have these to stick in somewhere. Like, this is a pink one and a purple one, shouldn't be there, so you know, little tuck spot. But I will separate this from pink to purple because it is quite bulky and huge. And I do really like it, but I would have absolutely preferred to just have done those little note stamps. I think that stamp just looks a bit, it looks better. I don't know. I like it this way rather than with the page stuck in, because I think you can see, there's a side by side. You can see the difference, and I prefer this to this. I don't know if I would even write in this or what I would write in it. My handwriting looks like spiders dipped in ink having a fight. Terrible. But here's another little one of these. These are also little just scraps of paper that I had. And this little piece of washi and more of these beautiful little paper clips. So yeah, I'm gonna take this and divide it into two. So one's pink, one's purple, and it gives me an excuse to get that die set out and also to make a new front and back cover, because I love these papers, and I have some absolutely gorgeous papers that I got in kits that I have no idea what to do with. I've got some beautiful foiled ones that I just don't know what to do with, because I'm not that great of a crafter, to be honest, and I don't want to waste the paper. I don't want it to go to waste, and I think if I make a little journal cover out of it, that would be go somewhat to being useful rather than just sitting doing absolutely nothing in a drawer. So that's what I want to do. I want to get this taken apart and put these little tuck spots in somewhere in the pink part, and I probably will end up making some purple ones as well. I have a ton of stash and little offcuts of beautiful little papers somewhere that I can make these from for the purple one. So that's my little journal. So Marcie, make one. The next thing I want to show you is what's always on my desk. These are from Elena Cuddle, and I know people will dog on Temu or say that it's terrible, that it's whatever. These are from a brand called Elena Cuddle, and this is a lady who makes these, and she sells on Temu and Amazon, and she is phenomenal. I think it was Sasha Reed on her channel. She interviewed Elena, and these are brilliant. These are stamps and the die to match sentiments that I have on my desk. I use these all the time. I have a little box full of little sentiments ready to go. They're all stamped in white. They are stamped on black on white cardstock, and then I just ink them or colour them or watercolour over the top, whatever colour that I need for a card, or I keep them white and just ink around the edge. But these are amazing. If you can get a hold of these are lifesavers. There's birthday celebrations, you know, all sorts of sentiments, and the die to go with them. They are phenomenal. Next, what do I use every day is this. This is my favourite little die cut machine. I adore this. This is my second one. My first one got broke using a die set that didn't work, and it broke the mechanism. But these, I love this. This is one of the most amazing buys I've ever had. This is on my desk constantly. I use it to cut out, as you can probably see, little flower dies. I cut it all the time. This is amazing. I love it. Now today's make, which will go up probably tomorrow, is going to be one of these. It's just a little floral wreath. And I'm going to put these up in my, I don't want to put it in my living room, which is the tiniest living room we've ever seen, or in my craft room. I'm not entirely sure. But every little one of these flowers is cut from a little die. This is the little ivy die from Quite Making Magic that is always in this little, my little angel wing tray. I have made these all from vellum. every one of these are cut out of vellum and painted with my watercolor mica paints. Every one of them. And then I just die cut out of vellum, and I use these little shaping tools, and I think they are nail art tools. I cut them out, these little dies, out of vellum, and then I shape them with these. And I paint the vellum, literally, with watercolour, and then I cut them out, and then shape them. And you can layer the watercolours. Because it's vellum, it will take a little bit because it does wrinkle, but you just put something heavy on top. I put a pair of scissors on top of mine, and then I layer the colour. So some of them you can see have like striations. This little blue one has got like striations around it, where I'm not even going to show the camera can pick that up. But these little flowers have all just been made using my watercolours. So if you don't think you can use watercolour paints at all, this is what I use mine for. The vast majority is for making these little flowers, these little wreaths, and it's just 2 circles cut out, mounted together, and then as you can see I've just glued little bits around the top and then just glued around, and then built it up, and have little ones dangling down, little danglies, making like a little vine. So yeah, that's what I've done with mine. So if you do make the watercolours, please do give it a go and try it with vellum, because it does work. I do, as I say, this is the same blue, believe it or not. These are the same 2 blues, and this is one little layer, and there's a lot of layers just built up. You see, it works pretty well. So that's what I'm going to be doing today, is this. I was going to do Marcie's little journal, which I'll probably get done later on this afternoon, because I have a ton of paper that I have never used that I really should get off the shelf and make that lovely little journal that you made, Marcie, because it is brilliant. I will have a link to Marcie's channel, The Girlfriend's Lounge. Oh, she's brilliant. I love watching her. But if this has been useful, beneficial, say hello in the comments. Let me know what your favourite die set is, what you'll be doing today. And if you do make these, let me know. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.